Today I come with proof. Proof that you don't need to spend more than £30 on getting yourself a good Casio. Let's get into it. Yes, welcome. I'm the Mad Watch Collector, a certified Casio nut. I've been wearing, loving and collecting budget Casio watches for many years and feel now is the perfect time to show you a bunch of Casios under £30 that are just brilliant. 12 watches, 4 categories. Affiliate links to all of these watches are in the description below.
And that's about it.
Are you beautiful budget Casio ready? Let's go. Okay, first category, the nostalgia set. I'm an 80s boy. All of my friends growing up at school wore Casios on their wrist.
Casio is embedded in my brain.
I think of family and all the best parts of growing up. It makes me think of all my favourite movies like Total Recall, Back to the Future, Goonies. But the 3 watches here do remind me of my childhood. Now this little beauty is not in my top 12. It's an obvious choice that every reviewer will probably suggest to you straight away. But it's the A158 that gets in my top 12. Yes, the shinier, metalier brother to the F91. This watch has the same dial look, the colours, the module and poor backlight as the F91. In my opinion, this watch has the best budget stainless steel bracelet in the Casio vintage range. It doesn't seem to pull any hairs, even for those Tom Sellecks of you out there.
What?
I have a 6.5-inch wrist and even this watch does wear small, but it is so retro and so cool. I have had compliments of this watch on my wrist from oldies as well as youngies. Until I show them the backlight. Alarm, stopwatch, that's all I really need in a Casio. I like how it says water resist. Any Casio that says water resist on it probably tells you it's not that water resistant, which is quite ironic, isn't it? Water resist usually means splash proof, but I'm not taking this diving, and I dare say if I did take it diving, it would still survive. Likewise with the A171WE, same module as the A158. This is a newly released watch by Casio and has been influenced by those Casios of old. In fact, the first Casio, the Casio Tron that came out in 1974. I love the fact that Casio just went old school on a new design. This A171 is a homage to all those great digital watches back in the 70s. Same poor backlight, but I think it's a must for anyone's Casio collection. And the final watch on the nostalgia set is my beautiful CA53W, the first watch I remember ever buying with my mum. This watch pretty much embodies my whole childhood, to be fair. I remember wearing it as a kid, which is crazy because it was a long time ago. I was a geek that happened to be quite good at football and sports. This watch just personified modern technology, harnessing a calculator on your wrist. I mean, it's crazy. Arguably one of the most popular and first smartwatches ever created. This watch starred in my favourite film of all time, Back to the Future 2. I wanted to be Marty McFly,
So I had to get the watch.
the only downfall to this beauty is we don't get a backlight, because that's the only thing that's missing with this watch. I also have to say that this is probably one of my favourite straps on a budget Seiko as well. There's a lot of vents to stop your wrist getting sweaty, but it makes the overall watch look sportier. I love the fact that the CA53 oozes that watch out. Well, I have a unofficial modded CA53 brought to you by PURA Customs. Look at this baby. So what they've done, they've taken a white or cream off-white version of the CA53W, put in some beautiful Pepsi polarizers on the screen, injected 10 years of battery life, and look in the top right hand corner, the signature mad sign. I absolutely love it. This watch also has a little NFC chip inside, meaning if I tap my phone onto this watch, brings up the Mad Watch Collector Instagram.
Modern technology.
If you want to get your hands on our mad, unofficial, modded Casio, the Instagram account and website link are in the description below. What a Mad Watch Collector certified stunner! The next category is GShock but not a G-Shock. Yes, these are Casios that you can buy for under £30 that may not be called G-Shocks, but they have the look and the traits of those Kiko Iv'e designs. So first up, the W-218H. And if this thing doesn't scream G-Shock to you,
You obviously don't know your G-Shocks.
it definitely takes inspiration of the original Square. There's no doubt in my mind about that. In its construction, it's very solid. I love that faux rivet look on the front of the face. The text isn't very cluttered on these Casios, which I do like, as well as those little hints of red on the triangles. Buttons are very easy to push in, unlike a G-Shock. A massive positive with this watch is the screen is so clear. Clearer than my 5610. For all those with the aging eyes, this is a great addition to your collection. I really love the resin straps on these, actually giving protection to the module, just like a G-Shock would. Only 50 meters of water resistance, but I am almost certain that this thing can take a beating. The next one is very reminiscent to the 6900. Again, we have faux plastic rivets, which I do quite like. The resin case and strap is a little grayer, a little charcoalier than the black of the last watch. It's always nice to have different tones of black or grey. Again, little hints of colour, not too overcrowded in the text. I love the pusher guards at the 3 and the 9. It has a negative display, but this is pretty clear. It's probably my favourite negative display I own in my collection. Same module as the last watch, with that same glowing orange light in the left-hand corner. This W219H's strap is identical to the 218H, so it has that G-Shocky protectiveness to it, and it does feel premium, and it's very strong. Look at that, boing, boing, boing. My final choice in this category is something that offers a little bit different to a lot of Casios. Definitely feels like a G-Shock and looks like a G-Shock and is awesome. And I am talking about the W735W.
The vibration alarm.
Yes, this beefy bad boy offers a vibrating alarm as well as vibrating on the hours. Pretty cool, as you don't see this being offered on many Casios or many watches in the marketplace. The case is completely different to anything I've seen before. A slightly steroids version of the 6900. You got the 3 sub-dial display at the top, and the 3416 module is something very different to me. I like the fact when you're in different modes, this watch always displays the time, and at the bottom of those numbers underlines and indicates what mode you're actually on. We have a countdown timer, a stopwatch, an alarm, and a dual time. On this watch, I always forget where the light button is. Can anyone see it? Oh, yeah, of course, that one, the one that says light. 2 bright white lights shining in both bottom corners, illuminating the whole display. This watch is 100 meters water resistant with a 10-year battery life. We've got a proper G-Shock strap. For all intents and purposes, this to me is a G-Shock. And for under £30, this watch definitely needs to be on your radar. So there you go, the G-Shock, but not a G-Shock collection.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
Okay, now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of this show. The next 3 watches are the best value for money you're under £30 can buy. First up, the hugely popular A1200, otherwise known as the Casio Royale. Now, all 3 of these watches offer a 10-year battery life with 100 meters of water resistance, which really is crazy for the price of these. I'm showing off my gold resin case with the rubber strap version. You can get these in so many different colors. They're also great for modding. Even though it's not a watch that came out back in the old days, it really does remind me of a Bond watch, you know? You've got the world map in the top right there, the digital clock facing the top left, which to me reminds me of a sonar. It really has the best symmetry with the 4 big pushers, 2 on either side. This watch offers a world time, 5 alarms, countdown timer, stopwatch. I mean, again, I only use these Casios for a stopwatch, sometimes an alarm. So for a watch well under £30 that offers so much like this, as well as, let's not forget, a very cool backlight, 2 LED bulbs glowing in the bottom corners of the screen, this is one heck of a cool watch. As is the MRW200H, the only 3-handed analog watch on this show today. Such an awesome looking sporty watch, 100 meters of water resistance. It's a bi-directional bezel, frictionless, but for Casio to even even offer it in a watch that's well under £30 is crazy. You get a day and date complication with this thing. All resin construction apart from the case back. But this watch definitely wins the award for looking like a watch that's at least 5 times more expensive. These watches are also known to be modded. You can also buy them in loads of different colours. But there's something about this all black and white reference with that awesome red triangle that has made me keep it in the collection. And last in the best value category goes to the WS1200H, otherwise known as
Fishing gear?
but look at this thing. How combat ready does this look? You can get it in a black silver variant. I chose this green one. There's a hell of a lot to look at to start with, isn't there? But essentially, this Casio offers a moon phase. And using the moon can tell you when is the best time for you to go fishing. Now, me not being into fishing makes that part a little bit pointless. However, it sets this watch apart from any other Casio in my collection.
And variety is the spice of life.
I love the pushers, very similar to the vibration alarm, dual time countdown timer, and I do love when you engage the stopwatch because all the fishies move about. It's flipping cool. Decent LED light. We have a good solid strap with a double tang, just like you would on your typical Mudmaster. I'm not sure why you'd ever want more than one tang, but it still looks cool, doesn't it?
Take 2.
Let's see a little more originality, shall we? And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the final category, just because. Just because I've bought these watches and I love them. And it's my show and I can do what I want, can't I? First of all, a watch that has probably the clearest and most legible screen in my whole collection of, say, 50 Casios. The B640W. Now, this watch has a similar size to the F91, but don't be put off by its size, you big wristers out there, because if legibility is what you crave, I mean, just look at it compared to the F91. Those numbers are just a little bit chunkier, aren't they? Now, if you can get this watch with the stainless steel PVD or ion coated bracelet, it is far better looking than what the pictures show, and it goes so well with this resin case. A matte finish that I don't think I have on any other Casio I own, as well as those sticky out pushers. Look at those. It is just such a clear screen. And you can tell this is a newer watch than one of those old vintage ones. The double LED light, the 329 module with an alarm, countdown timer, stopwatch. I don't think this watch gets a lot of credit or a lot of love on YouTube, and it's up to me to make it the icon it should be. Next watch is an old favorite, and it's a watch I have worn to death. We are talking about the A168, the bigger brother to the A158. Looks less 80s, more 90s, but packs an illuminating punch. And what it excels on is its backlight, the electro-illuminescence. Take a look at that, baby. This watch is far better for a bigger wrister. The features are very similar to the F91, just with that added amazing backlight. Of all the Casios, apart from my GShocks, this is the one I wear at work the most. And for my final just because choice, it goes to the watch that the F91 wish it could be. The W86. This is definitely one of my favourite budget Casios out there. Doesn't scream 80s to me, it's more 90s again, but that resin case is far beefier, the pushers are bigger, we have the same electroluminescent backlight as the A168, and for me, this watch has the best strap a budget Casio can buy. The resin is really soft, almost rubber-like, and after owning this one for I think a year and a half, 2 years now, I definitely choose this over the F91.
That's really hard for me to admit.
But for all the Casios that I've shown you today, these watches will lose probably only 30 seconds a month. That makes your Patek Philippe's slightly embarrassed, doesn't it? So there you go, after years of collecting and loving Casio, these are my favourite watches under £30. If you want to see more detailed reviews, check out the channel. I've reviewed most of these watches. If you bought any one of these, there's no way you can be disappointed. Today's shot comes from Akshay Raj, and I do not have a single clue what vocation you have to do to get that muddy, but what a shot of the W218H in its natural habitat, doing what a Casio does best, telling the time in the mud. What a shot, my friend, and thank you so much for tagging me in. If you'd like to be on the next Casio corner, all you gotta do, find me on Instagram here and tag me in on one of your Casio posts. Because who knows, next time the star of the show could be you. Thank you so much to everyone that has watched to the end of this show. If you have enjoyed it, please click the like button. Until next time, my friends, I'm the Mad Watch Collector, and I'll see you in a tick, 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 a tick.
Every little second, every hour, every minute of the day, always end up being